Hey there, Lawrence Francis here in Interpreting Wine. Welcome you back to the episode promotion toolkit. In the second section, retail, I want to firstly start off making a connection between this piece of content, this episode that you featured on, and actually sales, because I think it can often get lost why there is a link between content and specifically podcast content and sales. It's been shown time and time again that when people are considering whether or not to make a purchase, they will effectively stalk that particular purchase. They want to kind of, like a lion, hang out in the grass, go along on their belly, and be looking at that particular thing that they're buying. This might be a pair of shoes, this might be a holiday, might be a flight. I'm sure that you've done this yourself, where you put it in your saved tab on Chrome, or you put it in your basket on Amazon. You're following, you're doing the same thing, you're stalking this thing, you're keeping it in mind, you kind of got it in your sights, but you haven't pulled the trigger yet on actually going through and purchasing it. We do the same with lots of other products as well. It's quite stable research that's come through from people like Google and Oxford University. Now, where this applies to you and how you can learn from their research and their knowledge is to actually enable people to stalk you, to stalk your ideas, to stalk your philosophies before they buy your wines, before they actually pull the trigger on buying. And this applies to both the end consumer, but also applies to importers. You might be looking to open up a new market. Who would you want to represent you in that market? Somebody that really understands you, has taken the time to understand you and will actually be a long-term partner, or somebody that just comes in and just starts talking about price. So this retail section of the toolkit is really all around getting you to brainstorm what are the steps between where you are now and actually making more sales. So, for example, it might be that you're in the UK and you already have an importer. So what you can do is then kind of follow that retail path right the way through to the end consumer. So who is the importer? You obviously you know them. You've got your connection with them. What's their sales team? Who are their key accounts? Who are they selling to? Are they selling to independents? Are they selling to restaurants? Who are their key staff? Who are their leaders, and who are the people who are doing their training? And essentially, what this section enables you to do is, by brainstorming that, is to actually then think about, okay, you've now got this asset, this appearance on Interpreting Wine, this complete 6 wine story edition that you can essentially send down all of those different sales channels, and it doesn't need you to be present. So again, using our UK example, this is something that can be sent to the importer, but it can also be sent with a suggestion that, hey, your salespeople, they should be seeing this, they should be listening to this. You want them to know your story. What are the key accounts? Is this being shared directly with them? This can be a fantastic training resource for those people. It can be something that's shared with independents, people who can, in less than an hour, they can virtually spend time with you. They can learn, and so the people who are already selling the wines can sell them better, and maybe the people who are about to start selling them, they can get up to speed that much more quickly. So always be thinking retail, always be thinking where the people who are actually going to be buying this, how can this story be gotten to them? And the big secret is that it can get to them very easily, because it's digital, because it's in a podcast format, and that they can use and access just about any time that they've got a spare few minutes. They can be listening in, and of course, you want to have professionals right the way along the line that really care about your wine, and this, I think, is something that will really stand out from you, stand out from the rest of the competition, because you're actually making it easy, or you're at least making it easier for those people to spend time with you and to understand you. I think the other key element as well, and I know this having worked on the import side, one of the things that importers in the UK can struggle with are producing technical documents for wines and for wineries and for regions that are often thousands of miles away. I think there's always a lingering doubt that we haven't got the kind of correct piece of information, or that we're maybe not doing justice to the producer or to the region. Making sure that this is seen as a fantastic, up-to-date, of course it's going to be completely accurate reference material. It empowers those importers to create the content off the back of that. They can create blogs, they can create tech sheets, they can use it for training, they can use it as part of sales presentations. It really does give your representatives on the ground that much more confidence that they're going to be saying the right thing, and they're going to be essentially representing you in the best possible way. And then finally, back to the complete other end of the spectrum, briefly, if you haven't got somebody in a particular market, if you're trying to engage somebody, it's a fantastic tool to let people opt in or opt out. Because why? They've virtually spent those 40 minutes or those 50 minutes with you. They understand your philosophy. They've got a feel for you. They really, they're always thinking retail as well. And they're thinking, okay, can I sell these wines? Not just on price. They are thinking about now, okay, this is the philosophy. Do I kind of relate to this? Do I resonate with this? Is this something that my customers want? You're letting them go much further down the rabbit hole. You're letting them really understand and spend that time with you. And so that actually, if you have people reaching out to you and saying, yeah, I've heard that podcast, or equally you send those podcasts out and you actually make the first move, you've got people that when they say, yes, we'd love to get some samples, yes, we'd love to consider collaborating, they've actually listened to the podcast. They're not just treating you as another commodity. They actually really understand you. So a couple of ways to go there, to approach different markets depending on whether or not you're represented there. But this section, always be thinking about retail. This will always make this basically move you closer to making more sales, which of course is a key part of what you do, and also a key part of what I do as well, helping you move wines, but also not just open markets, but then also discover good markets